Welcome, everybody. Finally live. Took a little bit of juggling everything to get the sound right, but we managed to get everything working so we can at least have a decent conversation. Uh,
Literally juggling.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm joined tonight by my co-host Charis, and our guest today is Daniel Jones. So Daniel, for the people who haven't heard your first talk on our channel, please do a quick introduction, who you are, and what you
That's,
believe and why.
all right. I'm a Christian. I didn't start out as a Christian. I started out as an atheist. Didn't believe in God. Didn't want to believe in God. Something happened to me in prison that caused me to change my views on who God was, and um, that's good. I'm not good at summaries, but basically now I'm very. I know God exists. He's shown himself in an insight and experience that he's real, and I can give different examples that to me are personal. I know that they're factual. There's no question about it. That has caused me to be such a proponent of biblical knowledge.
Okay. Can I ask what's happened in prison that made you
Yeah,
change
I
your mind?
died. I was in a riot and died. Got shot in the back of the head with a plastic bullet and hit with a baseball bat. And
Okay.
God held me in his hand and said, "This is God. God is love." And I was dead anywhere up to 7 minutes. Obviously, not that long, but that was the from the time that I got hit, drowned on the mud puddle, and uh, and they woke me back up, or whatever they did, brought me up, took me away. 7 minutes.
Okay. So, that was the quick introduction, because you went on our channel before. If people want to know more about you, they can go and watch that video.
Yeah.
But in that video, you announced that you had something else coming up. I don't know if you actually announced it in the video or that we did that in the after talk. But you said you studied um dinosaurs and the origin of dinosaurs. So I'm
Yeah, now I may
yeah.
have used a little bit of a. I haven't. I'm not a definitely not a. I haven't gone taken no classes on it. However, it was always an interest to me as a child, and one of the things I always assumed when I was when you hear the story of dinosaurs, how many bones, how many creatures, different creatures existed in this dinosaur age that they're talking about. You should still run across bones today, and we don't. You to go to a bone, you have to. Now you can go to a dinosaur bone park and find all sorts of bones, but you can't find them anywhere else. And so I mean, because we should be walking on what, billions of millions of years of animals, billions of years of animal bones, and we're not coming across that. It's a very there's not a whole lot. In fact, we've never found a full dinosaur bone. I mean, a full dinosaur concoction. We've never. It's always been most of them 90% stuff we make to
Actually,
add
that's
to it.
actually that's not true.
Well,
They
you give
recent
me
they
one
recent
that's
they recently found a dinosaur in almost pristine condition, with
well,
skin
yeah. I mean,
with
but
skin with skin and everything. The complete
I,
dinosaur. It's
I have heard something.
at the moment it's on display in a museum. Um, yeah, it's somewhere in Alberta, Canada. I'll have
But
to look
see,
it up.
but
But
see, that amount, one full dinosaur, more supports the explanation of that's biblical than it
well,
does
actually,
evolution.
actually,
Because
I don't think so.
you should have every other there should be billions of dinosaur bones that
we
we're walking across today.
we have
Well, let
I
me
mean,
millions.
ask you a
We have
question.
millions. We have millions of dinosaur bones. We
we
have
don't have
complete
very many.
skeletons.
Yeah, we have a ton.
Yeah.
No, most of those are actually manufactured. We'll find a piece of a bone, a couple of teeth to a I don't remember, Australopithecus or whatever that was that they and then they create the rest of the rest of the creature from those two teeth. They do that all the time.
Fair, just a second. To be fair, you said bones, not complete skeletons.
Okay, complete skeletons. I meant complete skeletons. Complete, yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you something.
I said it a different one. Yeah.
Let me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
Given what we know now about an animal, say the size of a chicken or a sheep, which is a big part of the animals that we see around us in the wild, when it dies in the wild, what usually happens to its remains?
Well, it becomes bones and
sits there and is just kind of kept pristine for the ages of the future. Is that what normally happens? Because no, but I mean, if you're thinking about what we should see from back then, what should we see from now? Because you're setting the bar extremely high for what we should see from back then, and what you're saying is right now. In 2018, what we should see is millions and billions of pristine skeletons being preserved from, say, 10 years ago. That simply isn't the reality.
Well, but here's... Go ahead. Sorry.
Most of everything that dies decomposes because the processes are usually not such that they can be preserved like that. And they're eaten, they're strewn about. Weather, animals, just everything happens to them. And it takes a very specific type of thing, being caught in a tar pit, being instantly buried in mudslides. It takes very specific events to keep something pristine in its original positioning.
Okay, now that sounds like an explanation for... Here's the thing. So now what you're saying is the only place you're really going to find a wealth of dinosaur bones or be guaranteed to find them is in dinosaur parks, right? Strewn about certain areas in the United States.
I don't know why you're saying that's what I'm saying, because that's not at all what I'm saying.
Well, no, that's not what you're saying, but that's the implication. That's the when you can only go to dinosaur parks and find dinosaur bones. You can't find them anywhere else. You can't just go out and find dinosaurs. Like, for instance, out here, I've built many houses in this.
I'm not talking bones.
Well, even bones, but you don't even find bones. Skeletons, you're right. You're not going to find a whole skeleton except that one that he's saying, and I haven't researched that true or not. But here's the thing is, you know, in construction, I do a lot of concrete work, digging forms. That's not very deep, 6 inches at the most, sometimes 18 inches. And you'll find cat bones, dog bones. You'll find opossum bones even. But you never find anything else. You never find anything.
One thing that a paleontologist has over us is that they have the God, words are failing me today. Talking's hard, you know. They have the expertise to recognize things that are there that a normal person like you or me wouldn't recognize. They can
but that's not always. But see, that's how you guys explain when people see shadows on Mars, on the moon that look real, or mountains that look human. We see forms that were, even as an evolutionist, you would say that's been manufactured in us.
Well, just a second. What you said something. You said, well, that's how you would explain. But we have the force of gravity, and we explain it because of how it works. We have mirrors, we have light, we have prisms. We explain
how does gravity work?
Go Google
explain
it.
That to me.
When we explain the light refracting through a prism, separating through a prism, we have a certain explanation of that because of how it works. We explain things according to how they work. Things are explained because of a certain purpose.
But no, explain to me how gravity works. So I am curious about that, because I don't know if I believe in gravity or not. So give me a reason to believe in it.
Actually, Daniel, no one actually knows how gravity works.
Yeah. Because does gravity work? Does gravity work if I go buy a dollar store magnet and lift
wait a minute. Let me finish, because I won't finish yet.
All right.
So how it actually works is still unclear.
Hold on. He only said one phrase before you start.
This little girl's testing gravity right now. She's climbing this wall, and it's like twice the size of her.
You have to stop talking over us, because otherwise we can't have a conversation.
Go ahead.
What we can do is we can demonstrate it, we can test it, we can measure it, so we can actually know that there's gravity and that gravity works. The mechanism how it works is still unclear, and it has to do with mass. So the more mass you have, the more gravity you have.
Yeah. But see, now here's the thing: we're led to believe, we're supposed to believe that we went to the moon, right? We defied gravity to get all the way to the moon. Wait a minute, but we still don't know nothing about it. That's a heck of that takes a lot of faith to believe that now.
I'm not sure if you know the nature of science. The nature of any discovery is that you are standing at the very precipice between what you do know and what you don't know. You can't discover anything until you venture into the unknown first.
Mm-hmm.
We can.
Well, that's have you heard? Because you're mentioning this, that sounds like a lot of scientists at CERN. Have you heard what they say about science? You know what their goals are to do, right? And this is publicly. They're not hiding it. Yeah, they say it publicly. They mention it in the regular. You can find it and Discover.
We're not talking about CERN here on the show, though. Right now, what we're going to be talking about is Nephilim and lizards.
Exactly, yes, and that's what they're talking about. That's that goes on with CERN. That's what CERN is connected to, trying to open up these dimensions and find and contact other creatures. They're talking about it. They don't hide that. They don't say that it's anything else.
Daniel. Let me cut this short. What you're doing now is you're going to conspiracy websites where a couple of morons are.
No, I don't. Actually, I get that from CERN. I've got the CERN application on my phone. I get right from them. Not all of it,
but they're not opening dimensions.
That's what they're talking about. CERN. Yes, they are.
No, that's not. That's absolutely not what they're talking about. And even if it was what they're talking about, it still has nothing to do with dinosaurs. I thought your topic was you investigated dinosaurs and the origin being having something to do with the Nephilim.
Yeah, they're hybrids.
Let's get back to the topic at hand and not talk about gravity and CERN, because none of those have anything to do with dinosaurs. Not a single thing.
Right.
Going to the moon has nothing to do with dinosaurs. There are no dinosaurs on the moon.
You're right.
What there is on the moon is a mirror, and if you can get the money together to buy a strong enough laser, you can bounce your laser off the mirror that was placed on the moon during the Apollo missions.
Peter,
that mirror is used. That mirror is actually used to do measurements.
No,
but
cool. Too bad we lost the technology to go back. But okay, let's go back to the dinosaurs. That's okay. So this is where I've been led to believe through Scripture, because I believe that the Scripture is accurate. God has been accurate with how He created everything from the get-go, right from sonoluminescence. When He created light with sound and a liquid, a void water, that you can't get more exact than that. I mean, in fact, I've read the description of when they found sonoluminescence in 2010. They're no more accurate than what God said when He said, I created, by saying, let there be light. I created light with sound.
Okay, back to Nephilim and lizards.
Yeah. Okay. Nephilim and lizards. His description of the fallen, the offspring of the fallen angels and woman, leading to giants, leading to there's all sorts of evidence of this fact. I mean, the stuff we can't build today were built by giants.
It's okay
The stuff
for you
that
to not. Just a second. When you talk about women, it's okay to not say fallen women. Just say women. I mean, we're
no,
the
I
same
said
as
fallen
you.
soldiers. Well, I said fallen angels. Fallen angels, not fallen women. The women weren't taken by choice either. Maybe some of them, a few of them were, but a few of the men were too. I'm saying the women were kidnapped.
I think you misspoke because you did say women, but that's not.
Oh, I didn't mean fallen
important.
women. I didn't mean that. I meant fallen angels.
We're getting a lot of claims. We're getting a lot of claims in a row, and that's called a gish gallop. If you make 10 claims in 10 seconds, then we can't get anywhere. So we'll have to do one claim at a time. So
okay,
what
I'll let you lead it because I'll get.
Yeah, let me go back to what you just said, and I'll pick out one of the things, and we can address that, and then we can go on to the next one. You said the stuff that there is and we can build today. I'm not aware of anything being around that we cannot build today. Can you give an example?
Oh, there's all sorts of stuff in South America. There's monoliths that we don't even know how to lift them. I mean, this is
actually
no,
we do.
You don't.
They do. They ain't telling us.
You don't know how to lift them.
I've researched this. There's still no answer to it. Now
you didn't do your research very well because we know how they did it.
Got a few theories about the pyramids, about the
it's no
I
theory.
can't think of the name.
From the
Wales.
pyramids, they actually have the texts that describe how the pyramids were built. Did you know that?
No, I haven't seen that.
See?
Not I liked it, but the pyramids is kind of. I was throwing that out just throwing it out of the pocket. They've tried they can't rebuild the Stonehenge. They can rebuild a smaller Stonehenge, but they can't rebuild the actual Stonehenge.
Actually, they can. Stonehenge isn't even that big. I mean, Stonehenge.
They still can't stack the. No, I don't know why they go it.
Just by manpower, it's not a problem.
Yeah, there's a lot of monoliths all around the world that we have no idea how they
have
no
idea.
Actually, we do.
No idea.
They still don't. There's no explanation for them.
Please clarify.
Send me an explanation. Well, South America.
Okay.
I am not going to do your research and send you an explanation. You go to the experts and get the explanation.
Okay, I will.
Yeah.
I am not your Google machine. Not to be snide, but I am not your Google machine. There is an actual Google for that.
Yes, you're right. I will do that.
It isn't that hard. Because it isn't that hard to find out because the information is out there.
Yeah,
but you'll have to look.
I haven't really researched that far into but I know that the monoliths, like the ones down in South America, can't think of the name, Teotihuacan, or anyway, there's a lot of that they still can't. They still can't. I mean, they're like 20,000 ton rocks that they can't lift. I mean, you can't do it today. You can't lift that much weight today with a crane.
Nobody says you need just one crane.
Well,
why are you limiting us to one crane?
You're talking about Bronze Age man, which you guys believe were fools. Came up with this.
Don't tell me what I believe. Do not tell me what I believe. I do not believe they were fools.
Well, they obviously weren't. If they could spread a lie all across the whole globe, which anyway, if they could spread a lie all across the globe, then they had to have been a hell of a lot more advanced than we are. We can't even tell a lie about. We can't even convince people we went to the moon or not.
Okay. Well, anyway, just don't please make the mistake of telling me what I believe. When it comes to what I believe, you can ask, and then you sit down and take notes. I do the telling. When it comes to my mind, I am the queen of it.
Okay, that's fair.
And you are my subject. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, and actually, and stuff like saying we didn't go to the moon. I mean, that's completely ridiculous because
I didn't say we did or we didn't.
Peter,
there's evidence.
Peter,
so
lizard sex.
Yeah, let's
lizard sex.
Yeah, let's go back because to me that is the most interesting part of the conversation. So,
okay,
lizards and the Nephilim. So you did research on this. So tell us about your research.
My research, when I say I've done research, my research is spiritual. I do it through the biblical knowledge. I read a lot of different mythological explanations. I'm that's like a study of mine, just a personal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that when I say research, that's what I meant when I said that. I was talking about so mine is going to be pretty much biased, but I will pick up a science book too. I will pick up a book by Darwin.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that a long time. I was an atheist then, but still. Anyway, but I'll pick up science books. I've read a couple of Robert Greene's books. I'm not just on one topic. But
what I'm curious,
example
what I'm curious
of
about
dinosaur
is where did you come up with? Where did you come up with the fact that the Nephilim had anything to do with the origin?
Well, because dinosaur bones. Because the story of dinosaurs is a very modern tale. Nobody else talked about dinosaurs existing, except until after the advent of evolution.
Nobody else. When you say nobody else, who are the different?
The Egyptians never had the Egyptians never had no dinosaur bones. The Aztecs never had no dinosaur bones, and they lived right there where all the dinosaur bones were being buried.
Actually, we don't know that for sure.
But we do know for sure there is no story.
Wait a minute. You have to let us talk as well.
Okay.
Because otherwise it's not going to work.
Yeah, but you're speculating.
The fact is that the first time that people realized that they found bones of an animal that wasn't present on Earth anywhere was, I think, in the 1800s in Britain. I'm not sure.
10 years after evolution.
I'm not a specialist on that. So they found
it was several years after evolution.
Wait a minute. They found different bones from different animals and thought that they had found one single species, and they called that a Brontosaurus. Actually, Brontosaurus never existed because they had leg bones from one species and the head from a completely different species. So through a lot of study, they later figured out that those were separate animals, and we now have the different species because we found more and more bones, and then they started digging all over the world. Because of that find, that people started digging and started looking, and because the Egyptians didn't have knowledge about how old the Earth was. That
so when they were digging
later, when we had dating methods, and we could date rocks, and we could see that there were different periods, and we had knowledge about how old the universe actually is, how old the Earth actually is. That's
so those thousands of years.
That's how we can make predictions. That's how we can make predictions to go to certain places, and we can expect to find the dinosaurs that we're looking for. So it's not guesswork.
Okay, how long did it take to cut into all those stones to make the pyramids?
Look it up.
And how far did they have to dig down? Because here's the thing. They never once came across a bone that looked odd, that didn't look like a tusk, that didn't look like an elephant's tusk.
I can
they never came across
I can answer that.
Fangs outside its lips.
Can you let me finish, Daniel?
All right, go ahead.
either you want an answer if you ask someone a question, or you just want to
I'm
talk.
trying to see how this could have been a possibility, because there's so many people that
Can
believe
I
the dinosaurs
answer
are
the
fat.
question?
Okay, go ahead.
You answered how deep did they dig? What they did, they took the rocks from the surface.
Well, how long? How long were they digging in this? Because you got to understand, we find more bones now, and
they only took rocks from the surface. They didn't dig for rocks. And if you go and watch,
well, they mine.
Go online, and I'll tell you how deep they dug. Go online, see if you can.
But
find
they mined for
picture.
nickel.
Can you let me finish? Because this is getting annoying. If you go online and search for a picture of the Sphinx, the enclosure the Sphinx is in is where they got the rocks from to build it. So that's how deep they dug. The Sphinx is in its own hole.
They dug deeper when they dug wells or dug mines. They dug wells.
No, they didn't.
They dug much deeper than.
No, they didn't.
You're saying a mine? They didn't dig very deep for a mine, for a nickel mine?
They didn't dig that deep. No. And there's also the question.
But deep enough to come across
the layer they were digging in was still from the same period. So it isn't so that every layers aren't spread all over the world. You have parts here and parts there, and you have older parts here and you have younger parts over there. So it's different all over the world. It isn't spread. So you believe you believe, for instance, that the flood happened, that the flood caused the layers. If that were so, then we would have the same layers all over the world. The fact that we don't have those same layers all over the world is clear evidence the flood never happened, for instance.
Well, there's that goes into an entirely different discussion.
Yes.
But to keep this kind of isolated to what we're talking about now, let's go back to that person over in the UK who found that bone and realized that that was not a modern bone. That person had
Wait a minute, though.
Just a second.
Here's the
thing. Hey. Okay. That person had the at least enough expertise, at least enough knowledge of bones to be able to recognize this. Somebody who is in Egypt, if they come across a bone, they come across a bone. They have no training, no knowledge, no education on, things like paleontology. If they don't even know that this sort of thing exists, they'd have no training to recognize that a bone that is out of place is actually out of place. It's just a bone.
You're forgetting that the Egyptians were able to mummify their own kind. They were able to mummify bodies and animals. So they had a knowledge of, if they came across and in Africa, the Egyptian plains, they say that's where the saber-toothed tiger was roaming.
You're forgetting one thing.
Actually, no. The saber-toothed tiger never existed.
Peter, just a second.
It was a saber-toothed cat, and that cat was in North America, not in Egypt or in Africa.
Well, anyway, there's one huge glaring thing that you just did. You said they.
The Egyptians.
No. The Egyptians didn't have the ability to see that. The person who worked with bones had the ability to see that. The Egyptians included things like housewives, cooks, seamstresses, house builders. The Egyptians were a group of very independent individual people, and only people who had the expertise in bones might be able to tell that this bone is not like the bones that we are used to working with. But that in no way said that they could tell that a bone wasn't just some species of animal that wasn't their usual cat or human. I mean, there are tons of animals and that they wouldn't have had experience with mummifying. I mean, it's
Okay,
only as
what
it's,
about the Chinese? What about the Chinese? Of all the things the Chinese did, even one emperor was said to have blown himself up in trying to get into space. Yet they never once saw these dinosaur bones, or
just
never.
a minute. You're talking about the Chinese.
Well, I'm saying
You're
Chinese
general.
people, civilization.
No, not a whole
Ancient
civilization. A civilization does not have the ability to recognize a type of ancient prehistoric bone.
No, but
A
these
person,
stories should have been flowing through they should have been flowing through the people in that civilization.
No. What I am saying is that unless a prehistoric, ancient, fossilized bone is recognized as such by people with the means to adequately decimate this, or decimate, really? Decimate.
It's that day.
Right? Unless they have the ability to spread this information. We have the ability now with internet. They didn't have that ability at the time. But unless a person was able to understand this and get the information spread to everybody, and why would they? I mean, not everybody is interested in dinosaurs. And frankly, housewives have better things to do, like changing.
And I can also I think clear up a tiny misunderstanding, because Daniel, I know you, so I already know that you think the Earth is 6,000 years old, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what?
A little over. It could be a couple hundred years over.
Yeah, the point of view that you have is vastly different from what is actually true.
Well,
so in your view, dinosaurs.
You can't prove that like I can't prove it.
Wait a minute. Let me just finish. In your view, there's a much shorter time span. So if the Earth would have been
makes scientific that makes scientific sense.
Let me finish, Daniel.
Okay.
In your view, it would have been entirely possible that if dinosaurs existed, and we know they existed, that every civilization on the entire planet would have knowledge of dinosaurs. The fact that the world is 4.5 billion years old makes it that no civilization ever saw a dinosaur, so they don't have that knowledge.
But see, I don't believe
that's where the difference is.
Okay, wait a minute then. So the knowledge of God spread across the earth, right? But the knowledge of dinosaurs just slipped past them.
Actually,
the knowledge agrees universally on God.
Actually, the knowledge of God is still not spread across the globe. There are vast places in the world where people have never heard of the biblical God.
Well, that might be past Antarctica.
No,
I'm not sure. I've never been there.
That's not past Antarctica. There are tribes in South America that don't even have a God concept. So they don't have a bush god or a tree god or whatever. There are tribes that don't have gods at all.
No, I'd like to see those. I can't research. I can't say that's not fact or not. But I will look.
You can
that meaning that they have that they have no supernatural tendency whatsoever, because now a lot of evolutionists are saying they do, that we do. That it's written in your DNA.
No, actually, that's a creationist claim that already has been debunked so many times that we can dismiss that completely.
Well, I heard that was from an evolution. That was from a scientist. So I don't know. I didn't really.
That's what we call Pratt. And Pratt,
I was just going to say that.
Pratt is
point refuted 1,000 times.
Refuted 1,000 times. So that doesn't get you anywhere. what you're doing wrong is that if you're doing research, you go to creationist websites. All they do is lie to you, and they lie to you.
Well, I don't actually read those. I don't read creationist sites. In fact, I mean, I've been on them, but I'm not a. I pretty much know what I know. Just I'm confident with what I know. And
I'm pretty sure you're confident, but you're entirely wrong.
Confidence is not what determines right or wrong.
No.
Excuse me, I'm allergic to Oregon. It's cold weather.
Okay, so for instance, you can buy a car on credit and can be confident that that's your car. But the moment you stop paying your payments, they're coming to get your car away, and you can be as confident as hell. And
not if I take it to Mexico. Not if I take it to Mexico.
Dude.
Yeah. Okay.
Lizard sex.
Yeah. Let's get back to what you did to research, because somehow you're not getting to that point, and that's the point that we find interesting. So where did you come?
Here's the thing.
That the Nephilim had anything to do with dinosaurs? Because I've read the Bible, and there's not a single dinosaur in the Bible. So where did you find them?
In the Bible? Well, when it talks about the Nephilim, the offspring, there's descriptions of in the book of Enoch with the animals, that they did the same thing with the animals. There's all sorts of scripture about it.
Yeah. The book of Enoch was never canonized.
Yeah, that's not part of the Bible. That's not part of Christian doctrine. So no, it's not part of the Bible.
It is referenced in the Bible.
Yeah, it's referenced in the Bible, exactly.
But it is not in the Bible.
Yeah, but I don't need a Catholic priest to tell me what's allowed and what's not.
I know, but only the points that are referenced in the Bible are recognized in it.
Enoch's reference in the Bible.
If there's anything else in the book of Enoch, it's not recognized in Christianity.
Jesus quotes Enoch.
What should that tell you? Actually, no. What should that tell you? That should tell you that you are not restricted to biblical knowledge. Everything doesn't have to check out in the Bible. You can go outside the Bible for knowledge.
Exactly, but when you consort the Bible first, you will be led to the truth always.
If you consort the book of Enoch, you'll see why it wasn't canonized, because it disagrees with many statements in the Bible.
Well, there's a lot the Bible's been. There's a lot that's a whole nother topic too. You're right.
Okay, can I put one thing to bed right now? Because you said if you go to the Bible, you're going to get to the truth.
Nephilim put lizards to bed.
Let me ask you a single question. Have you ever seen a fly, Daniel?
A fly? Yeah.
A fly.
Really, Peter?
Okay. How many legs does a fly have?
Really, Peter?
How many legs does a fly have?
I'm just testing.
Well, I'd say 4, maybe 6.
I know where you're going with this.
Yeah. Would you agree that every fly has 6 legs?
Well, no. Some of them miss. That's not no.
Unless you pull one off, then it has 5.
Yeah. Okay. And beetles?
Yeah.
All have 6 legs, right?
Well, I I don't know, because I'm not versed in that.
You've never watched a beetle? You've never
seen a beetle? I know they got
beetle?
legs. I don't know how many. I've never got up that close to count how many legs they have.
Well, I can tell you how many legs they have, and you can check. They have 6.
All right, 6. Yeah, that was my first guess.
Okay, what does the Bible say?
I don't know. But here's the thing: they're not talking.
No, I know, because I actually read the Bible.
And how many does it say?
It turns out that you haven't. The Bible says they have 4 legs.
Don't know that. Okay, well, that's the thing, is we don't know exactly what.
The Bible says insects have 4 legs.
Okay, it's not talking about every insect. Here's the
Yes,
thing:
it's
is when you're
talking. Yes,
writing
yes,
stuff in
yes.
stone.
Wait, hold
oh,
on, hold on, hold on.
It's not.
talking about
It's not a text. What
Hold
do you call
on.
those? It's not an insectology yet.
Hold on. It's talking about every insect.
It says insects.
Yeah, but it's saying it in a general purpose. It would be like me saying all Oregonians love rain.
Yes, but we don't have.
It rains in Oregon all the
here's
time.
the
I don't
fun-
know. It's
here's
you're
the-
making a
Daniel,
general statement.
Daniel, here's the fun part. We don't have any four-legged insects. Not a
It
single
can't
one.
even
Well,
be generally true. I mean, when you
wasn't. But Steve, you're talking about the truth of when he wasn't teaching about insects.
but he made.
So
Yes, he was
It is
teaching
the,
about
if
insects.
if it was the breathed word of God, giving us knowledge from the divine, who knew the reality of all things and all things created above and below, you would think that God, in his breathing his word to man, would have not mumbled when he was trying to differentiate between 4 and 6. He would have said,
okay, then let me answer that. Okay, now if you've got a truth to tell me about insects, okay? You want to say whatever the description that the conversation was about insects. Are you going to tell me, are you going to say, hey, look, all four-legged insects, all 87-legged insects, all centipedes, all this, you're going to be very general. And that's all that was. And we don't know.
A
We don't know what
isn't an insect. I would not say 87-legged insects because 87 legs is not an insect.
I consider it. If you said that to me, if you said, look, all these insects, stay away from, or whatever he was saying about them, I would consider that you're talking about, and it would have no effect on the truth. It would have no effect on what happens later in life. It would have no effect on the fact that God could actually create light with sound. That was something that he wanted you to know was a fact. And I remember when atheists, wait a minute, I remember when atheists used to say, oh, how could there be light without a sun? Well, now you know they can.
Daniel, can we just stick to the topic? And
yeah, that's my answer to the question on the insects.
Wait a minute, Daniel, I'm going to mute you if you don't let us talk. I just gave you an example from the Bible. You can go outside. You're outside at the moment. I'm pretty sure that if you look closely, you could find an insect and count the amount of legs. So
but see, here's
it isn't that difficult, and you don't have to believe us. You can actually go
but
your own eyes.
But you got to recognize what the Bible is. The Bible is a translation of the truth. We have translated it over and over, and a lot of It's what?
That is completely off topic. We're not talking about the origins of the Bible.
No,
We're talking about lizard sex.
Okay, there you go. But the insects description, that doesn't mean that the Bible's not false. That has nothing to do. That doesn't even put it into question.
Well, you just said that.
Now back to the lizard sex. Yeah, that's exactly what happened when the angels came down. They produced.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You just said we cannot trust the Bible because it has been translated and
No,
translated.
I didn't say trust the Bible. I didn't say we couldn't trust it. You can trust the gospel message, which is God came down, Jesus came down, Yeshua came down, died for your sins, and through faith in his grace, you can get to heaven. You can get through the gates. Other than that, it's there's no other option for you. You face it's either God or chaos.
We can go into that as well in another conversation. Let's get back.
Presentation.
Okay.
Let's get back because I'm still curious why you came up with a topic for this talk, and anytime we get back to that topic, you go off in every single direction to talk about anything.
Okay.
But
all right, the biblical
description of dinosaurs.
Yes, the biblical description of dinosaurs, the origin. Now that talks about the extra biblical, the Enoch, the Book of Enoch. What's the I can't think now. Anyway, the description, the religious description of dinosaurs makes more sense than the scientific version, and that's where I stand. Makes way more sense to me.
That's also an opinion, because something
and again,
can make
it's the
sense to
lack
me
of
that
the
doesn't
lack
make
of
sense to you.
no other people around the world in all time have ever talked about dinosaurs till after evolution.
But that's not
So
true.
I mean, based on
Do you know where the
well,
legend of
Actually,
the Cyclops
actually,
came from?
that's not actually
the dragon.
Daniel.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not true. Dinosaur bones were found before Darwin wrote the
Well, I
Origin of
believe that. I'm not saying that didn't happen. I'm talking about the story of dinosaurs. The scientific story of dinosaurs never existed.
was before they discovered evolution. Yes.
Yeah. Which is my fact. There would have been a science. You're talking about a people who could build things that we don't know how they built them today.
We're not talking about people who built. No. We're not talking about people who build things. Daniel, we're not talking about people who build things. You said dinosaurs only were talked about after they discovered evolution. That's not the fact.
The science of dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs preceded evolution by approximately 50 years.
Yeah, as hybrid monsters.
No,
they didn't know they were
as hybrid monsters.
Well, they called them dragons.
No, they didn't.
And a lot of them were sons of God.
No, they called them terrible lizards. They thought they were big lizards.
Yeah,
and that's what actually the name dinosaur means. It means terrible
Michael
lizard.
killed a dragon. So I mean, the dragons are on all the European standards. They call them dragons.
Yes. And those were big lizards. And we also know that those depictions were exaggerated because the kings and the knights and stuff wanted to impress their people. So over time, those lizards got bigger and bigger in the depictions. And because Europeans didn't have a clue that there were animals that actually had a forked tongue, they thought that the tongue was fire because it was split in two. And they kept adding flares to it to make it look more and more like fire. But it was actually a misdepiction.
I like that.
I would just like to clarify for the people listening that I am with Daniel in that I know nothing of actual history. So Peter here is the only one who does know something that's accurate about history. I will.
Well, we don't know that he knows anything accurate about history. He's going on what's written in what the standard.
Okay, and then let me tell you something. Daniel.
Yeah.
Stop talking. What I'm saying is, you have the ability to listen back to this talk. I urge you to never believe a word I say, but listen back to the talk, pause it at different points in the talk when there's something you want to know, and Google it. And when you Google it, don't use the usual Google, but use scholar.google.com. If you use that, you get the scientific. Yes. If you use that, you get only scientific results. There are some dodgy ones in there as well, but they're extreme minorities. So you can pretty much, if you want to know what we know scientifically, use scholar.google.com, and you'll get the links to the scientific papers. And that's where you get your information from. Not from me, not from Charis, not from a website.
I get a lot of my stuff off the Scientific American site. I've got a lot of those apps on my phone. I've never tried the Scholar one. I think somebody told me that. You might have told me that, and I forgot about it. But I will tonight.
Could very well be. In our first talk that got lost.
I still want to know about people having sex with lizards.
Oh, that's okay. Again, now there's various descriptions. There's another book. I can't think of the name of it right now, but
let's stick to Daniel. Let's stick to the Book of
Yeah.
Enoch. What does the Book of Enoch say how dinosaurs originated?
Well, there's you know, again, you got to look at the stories in the descriptions, and you'll know what they're talking about. And when he says that the angels came down and I think it says procreated with animals, and they did the same with animals that they did with the women. And
So
and then, so
Nephilim didn't.
you know the story of the dinosaurs. So then now you look at that and you look at, okay, how often do we come across examples of dinosaurs? How many people knew about dinosaurs in the world today? If it's billions of years old, nobody knew about dinosaurs till just recently. And so all of this right here adds to, okay, well, will I tend to believe the story, the scientific story of dinosaurs, or will I believe the story from the creator? And that's pretty scientific too, because now we know that you can make hybrid animals. You can make a cross between a monkey and there's, that's around the corner. I mean, they're probably already doing it, but splitting genes and doing all that craziness, they're doing that.
So I have a question.
I'm not entirely getting what you're saying here. You can hybrids.
They're making hybridized. They're making hybridized creatures right now. They're in the single cells or whatever. I know it's basic right now, but it's all right. And they probably are actually making hybrid pigs and humans, whatever. You know, we don't know what they're doing because they don't tell you. You know, you get a little. We're behind on times.
So angels had actual physical sperm.
Well, we died being they were sons of God. I don't know what exactly. They had a way of infecting the human chain. They had a way of doing whatever, it's described in the Bible. I mean, it's that description. There's no way that somebody who did not know the science of what they were talking about could have said that. That's not a story.
I have a question, Daniel. Daniel, I have a question. I have a question because I've been an atheist all my life, and I read the Bible. And I read it a couple of times, and I'm still reading the Bible every now and again. I'm pretty sure that God laid down the laws that you can't have sex with animals. And now you're saying me that this same God sent down angels to have sex with animals.
No, he's saying they rebelled and did it.
That's, again, you're talking about a general description. They ain't gonna write on stone. I mean, the message wasn't, hey, this is how they did it. They hybridized them, or they did it this way. They did it this way. All it said is they came down and procreated. They disrupted creation.
Well, in the Bible, coming down and procreating is not that mysterious. It means they had sex. It's okay to talk about sex. It's not that mysterious.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not saying. What I'm saying is, it doesn't necessarily, to me, that message to me doesn't. I wouldn't go that far into it. They somehow had offspring, and those offspring were giants.
Yeah, sex, procreation, sex, childbirth.
I don't think it would have been very healthy.
Vaginas, penises, the works.
Which I have no problem with. But what I'm saying is, but it doesn't matter. It's not important to the story. What we know is that human DNA was somehow challenged, and that God had to find the purest humans again and start over. And we don't know why he did. Why? Huh?
The purest humans, are we getting into racial purity? Because when you say the purest humans.
No, well, the purest, back in the day when they're talking about destroying all those breeds that the Anunnaki, the Rahim, the Raphaim, all those people, those weren't humans. They were creatures. They were giants. A lot of them were hybrids. And so God wasn't saying go destroy. No, they weren't humans.
If they're not human, you don't have to say purest human.
Well, okay, they weren't human.
I'm curious. Oh,
well, no, that's the thing is when he got to know we're all
Daniel.
Yeah.
I am curious. I'm asking you a question.
Okay.
So you told us a lot of stuff. You said you're doubting a lot of the science that we have on dinosaurs because according to you we don't have enough bones, even though we have museums filled with complete skeletons of thousands of different dinosaur species. And that's only the dinosaurs. That doesn't even include mammals. That doesn't include reptiles. That doesn't
Those ain't
include
complete skeletons.
amphibians. That doesn't include fish. Only the dinosaurs we have in the thousands of species where we have complete skeletons. But
No, we don't.
what we don't have in not in any single museum on Earth is a bone from a giant. How would you explain that we don't find those?
Well, there's all sorts of there are pictures, and they're not all fake. There are pictures of dinosaur giant bones.
Actually, they are. You
Yeah,
remember our
and they
first talk when
hide them
did you
because-
remember? You remember our first talk when you sent me a picture?
Yeah.
It was from a website that I linked you to, and I didn't participate in that particular event, but they
That
have
one wasn't
challenges
false,
for
though. That one
they
was.
have
I
they have
sent you one.
challenges. They let me finish.
Okay.
They have challenges. The website is called Worth 5,000 or 500. I'm not exactly sure because I haven't been on their website for a long time. It's a website where people who use Photoshop can show their abilities, and so they have contests. And they had a contest. They had a contest. Make a picture of a giant skeleton being unearthed.
Oh, yeah.
That was a contest. I
Mhm.
haven't come across one single picture that wasn't part in that context.
Oh, really? Huh. Well, then that must mean
Really?
that all the pictures are fake, because if they had that contest, then that means all those pictures that came before it were fake too. But see, that's not a fact. That doesn't mean nothing. The reason why they would do that is so that they can make it so that they have a story that you can tell to say it's false.
Daniel, there weren't any pictures before it.
Yes, there was. Yes, there was. There was all sorts of pictures. In fact, you can go in the Smithsonian has pictures of it.
No, they don't.
Way back then. I'll send you a link.
And you want to know why they don't? Because they don't exist.
Yes, they do exist. Yes, they do exist. Well, again, you see, here's the thing. You can't explain.
Okay, so name me one museum.
Who wielded the axes?
Wait a minute, Daniel.
Yeah.
I don't want to mute you. Name me one museum where you can go to and see an entire skeleton of a giant on display.
No, but you can see the axes they held. You can go to a museum in Denmark, I believe it's in Denmark, where they have giant axes that were built by a people that.
Yes, I looked it up. They're actually not giant axes.
What are they? They were toys.
No, they were a little bit bigger than the axes that we usually have, and they were made just for display purposes only, and they're just a little bit bigger than the usual axes.
Those people had a lot of metal and stuff. A lot of that they could just make stuff for display, huh?
No,
they had
kings who wanted to show off and had those made for in their castle. They're not that big. They're just a couple of inches bigger than a usual.
No, some of them are quite a lot bigger. I'm gonna show you the.
Actually, no, because I went to the website and I looked it up, and I also went to Creationist website, who have exactly the same pictures but a completely different text than the people who actually have the access. Don't you think that's a little bit funny? Because you can go to Denmark and you can see those. Those are on display. Those aren't that big. And if you go on the internet, you can actually see people standing next to them and see that they're not that big. But those pictures don't show up on creationist websites.
All right, let me see. You got luck. They're pretty big when they show them right next to another axe. They're huge. They show an actual axe, battle axe.
How big is the other axe?
Easily 5 times bigger. I'd say four times bigger.
Yeah, but how big is the axe they're showing them next to?
The axe that they're showing next to is the same type of axe. It's a battle axe. I don't know if it's
and what's the measurement that's given?
Let me see. I've only got the picture. Me.
And what website are you looking at now?
It's the Bladesmiths Forum.
The what?
Bladesmiths Forum.
A forum?
Yeah, it's called Bladesmiths Forum. Bladesmithsforum.com.
It's a forum.
Giant Bronze Age axes in Denmark.
Yeah, so it's a forum.
You're referencing forum posts?
It's not the site where they have the actual access. Correct?
No. I'm actually just got on. I'd have to find the that later. I'm just doing it off my phone now because I wanted to double check.
What you're referencing now is what we call in technical terms bullshit. because those are what you're looking at are brainless people posting stuff just to seem interesting.
Okay, listen to this, and here's my explanation of why I believe what I believe. As a human being, I'm very aware of how we think. I know I'm very good at that. That's saved my life a few times, based on my past choices. Anyway, back to the lack of testimony is big. I don't care what. I know a lot of atheists, testimony means nothing. No, human testimony is one of the most important things. You wouldn't have any type of criminal justice without human testimony. So don't discount human testimony. And the lack of human testimony for dinosaurs, for the science of for paleontology, whatever you want to call it, the lack of testimony and all the thousands of years that we know more about the stars than we did about the human bones in our own backyard. And so that lack of testimony about dinosaurs convinces me that there's more to that story than what you're being told. And it's not and you're not being told anything about the truth about dinosaurs.
Well,
I mean,
that's what you're telling me now is just a conspiracy.
Astronomy has a wait a minute. I'm going to
Daniel.
Yes.
Let other people talk.
Okay.
What you're telling me now is a conspiracy theory.
No, it's not conspiracy theory. It's the fact that it doesn't exist.
Daniel, let me talk.
All right.
What you're telling me now is a conspiracy theory that is as valid as chemtrails, flat Earth.
No,
it is what we call in technical terms bullshit. That's it.
You're using a bad example when you mention chemtrails. They're talking about that now today in the news. so
I'm just throwing in every idiot claim that's out there.
But that's not an idiot claim. That does exist. The chemtrails exist.
It is an idiot claim.
Your air disappears and a chemtrail stays forever. So they turn into clouds. You can see it. But
your
that's
air
not the
does
argument.
not disappear.
Daniel, are you an airline? Daniel, are you an airline? Daniel, are you an airline pilot?
No. But I see airlines.
Have you ever flown a jet airliner?
No, but I see airlines.
Have you ever been part of construction of a jet airliner?
Nope.
Okay. Do you know how the engines work on a jet airliner?
I mean, I have a general idea.
Do you know how the
I know how
engines work?
condensation works.
Into the smallest detail how they work.
Well, I know from what they've explained on the news about the chemtrails, about what they're
I'm
shooting
not
into the
asking
air,
you
the
about
aluminum
chemtrails.
particles.
I'm asking you about airline engines, jet
Oh, I
engines.
see that.
Do you
Okay,
know
here's the
how they
thing. When I
work?
look up in the Yes, I do. When I look up in the sky and I
Daniel,
see 12 airline pilot jet engines and none of them are shooting any chemicals out, yet the one that's way up in the air is, that shows me
yes,
something. There's something
right.
different about that plane.
Yes, and what's the difference?
It's shooting chemicals into the air.
No, the difference is the altitude they're flying in.
No,
Are
because
you
it's
actually
different altitude. It's different
or
altitude.
are you not aware how a jet engine works? It's a
Yeah,
simple
but
yes or no question. Do you know into detail?
I'm
Can
not
you
a
explain?
technician.
Can
No,
you
I'm not.
explain to me in detail how a jet engine works?
No, I can't.
Okay. So you don't know what comes out of a jet engine.
I know it's a lot of air and force, probably explosive air. I'm not sure. I mean, I know that
Explosive? What the
the
hell is
condensation.
explosive? Daniel, what's
Well,
explosive
all
air?
right, whatever's shooting out all that condensation, if it was just condensation,
Condensation.
condensation or whatever, it would, yeah, condensation, it would it would disappear quick, just like when your breath goes out. If it was just heat and moisture, that ain't gonna last for that ain't gonna sit and hang in the air and turn into a cloud, which it does. You can see that. You could see uh, uh, chemtrails that turn into clouds. I've got pictures of them on my site. You've seen them.
Yeah.
I mean, and they
What's the
turn into
difference?
clouds.
What's the
They're
difference,
not
Daniel?
disappearing like condensation.
Daniel, what's the chemical difference between a chemtrail you see and a cloud?
Well, if you listen to the scientists on the news, they say
No, I'm not
well,
listening to
I'm
your
going to tell you what the
scientists on the
scientists say.
news because what you're actually looking at aren't scientists, if that's what they're
Well, they're
claiming.
scientists. Yeah, they're telling us.
I am asking you, Daniel Jones, what is the chemical difference between what you call a chemtrail and a cloud?
Well, they're putting aluminum. I think aluminum chips. I don't really care too much about it because there's nothing I can do about it, you know.
You're making
But
a claim. You're making a claim, and now
when
you
I
say you
look
know
up into
nothing
the
about
sky
it.
and I can see this, and I can see these chemtrails,
Yeah, I
and
can
they're
see
turning into
clouds. I can
clouds,
see
and they're
clouds. They're
turning
up
into
in the.
clouds.
I can see clouds. They're up in the air, and they're staying up
But see,
in
it's
the
speaking
air.
for itself.
Sometimes even for days, for weeks.
And you
Are
think there's
those
nothing normal? There's nothing
are
normal
those
about that.
called chem clouds?
If it came from a plane, if it originated in a plane, yeah.
What's the difference?
What's the difference?
Can
It
you tell me?
originated in a plane.
Okay, I'll dumb it down for you. What's the difference between water vapor and water vapor?
Well, because some of them contain chemicals in them that are they're using to control the atmosphere
Listen to the question that I'm
or
asking
weather.
you. Listen
Yeah.
carefully. Don't talk over me. Shut up for a couple of seconds so you can actually hear the question. What is the difference between water vapor and water vapor?
There is no difference between water vapor and water vapor.
So, what is the difference between water vapor in a line and water vapor in a cloud-like formation?
In a line or in a cloud-like formation. Actually, the ones that appear in a line have chemicals in them that keep them in the air
Do you
longer.
listen to the question?
Yeah.
What is the difference between water vapor in a line and water vapor in a cloud-like formation? What's the difference?
Well, I'd say there's just a linearity, the linear once in
Bingo.
here.
Bingo.
But it's not the
That's what you're seeing behind those planes. And the fact that one plane doesn't emit it and the other one does is a difference in altitude and a difference in now I don't know in difference in humidity in the different layers.
And
So one layer has a higher humidity, and if a plane goes through that, you get condensation, and that stays up just as long as a cloud does. So it can, under the right conditions, it could stay up there for weeks. It doesn't, because it's a lot thinner than a cloud is, so the wind will make it dissipate and you won't see it anymore.
Okay.
But if there's no wind in that layer, then those lines will stay up for a very, very long time. The same way clouds do. It's
Okay,
water,
but now
it's water vapor.
okay,
And
that's fine. I haven't really that's not much of an I believe it's more than that just because of what I've heard on the news and whatnot. But I don't
No,
care.
you haven't heard,
Like I said,
I'm going to tell you, you haven't heard that on the news because chemtrails aren't on the news. I did an interview for New York. I did an interview for a New York paper. A journalist took me with someone who actually believed in chemtrails, and she asked me to do an interview. I did an interview for, I think, over an hour. And
oh yeah. Well, okay.
so there's.
Do you guys? You're in Holland, right? You're in Holland, right?
I'm in Holland. Yes.
It's off subject. Then we'll get back on the dinosaurs wherever you guys want to. Do they put fluoride in your water in Holland?
Not anymore.
What? They don't?
Not anymore. No.
Oh my God! Why not? That's
Because
must be horrible.
because dental hygiene here is a lot better than it is in the US, and it's in your toothpaste, so it's no longer necessary. In the US, hygiene is at a very low standard when you look at the rest of the world. Healthcare is terrible. When you look at the rest of the world, well, you're no better. You're no better than a third world country when it comes to tap water.
But we're the greatest nation in the world.
You have the worst tap water from all the developed countries. The worst.
Really? You know what? I totally would not have. I thought that we had. I thought it was a universal truth that we had the best water in the world.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
That's weird.
Google Flint.
Can't even prove that's truthful.
Google Flint. Those people are without even water that you can drink from the tap. I think now for what is it, 2-3 years? They still don't have water.
About 2 years.
Yeah, they still don't have water that they can drink. Here in Holland, you can drink from every single tap, all over Holland. Holland, Germany, England, France, Belgium, Switzerland, Austria.
There's cities now that you discovered that are even worse than Flint was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Flint's bad.
So
we are the greatest military power in the world. That does not make us a great. Well, that has nothing. That is not a general greatest nation in the world. We have the greatest military force, but so many things else about the country. It's like having a really strong right arm and saying, "I am therefore the best person in the world."
Well, if you're in middle school, that's a great. You got a strong right arm. Everybody listens to you.
Or they just know that you're saying they're masturbating in class.
I used to get picked on in middle school, so I remember.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You called the topic, which was, you said you'd done extensive research on dinosaurs being the product of the Nephilim in any kind of way. What we have come up with so far is that you said you read something in the book of Enoch that might lead you to the fact that the Nephilim came down, or angels came down, because there's a difference between the Nephilim and angels as well, as far as I know. But
the
beside the
Nephilim are the
fact.
offspring.
Yeah, so the angels had sex with people, which produced the Nephilim, and the Nephilim had sex with lizards. So where did you come up with this? Because I have looked and I can't find
Well,
a
again,
single reference. I can find a
I
single
tend
reference,
to
not
think,
even on creationist websites.
yeah. I tend to think that just based on the many views I've read, and I do a lot of discussion with people too, is that it was actual a scientific operation when they came down and did what they did with genetics. It was much like the Bible depicts it. It was an actual hybridization. It was a scientific uh, act. And that's, I don't know exactly how angels were made, if they have the genitalia for it or not, but they
I
were
don't
made
know.
it.
I don't know of
Well,
any.
you said that women were kidnapped for it, so they had to do
Well,
something physically
they would
with
have had
the
to
women,
use
right?
them to incubate it, I guess. You know,
And I mean,
they'd
I know,
have
being the owner of a cervix, a vagina, a
yeah,
uterus, and 2 ovaries, I know the things that need to happen in order for us to have a child.
yeah.
There,
Well,
there has,
but
I mean,
they could be inbred in you. They could be inbred in you without sex. I mean, you could be injected.
yeah, but
We
you
know
don't
that
need,
now.
they, these are angels. They don't need to kidnap a woman to do it. And knowing what I know about female sex drive and some of our kinks and fetishes, an angel wouldn't have to work too hard to seduce us.
Well, fallen angels were different. They lost the grace of God.
Okay, but
And you would have, as a human being, you would have known that. See, here's one thing you don't ever forget. Satan hates us, hates you with a passion. So you would not be inclined to that person unless you were insane,
hold
or
on. You know
very
nothing
angelic.
about me as a person, and
Well, no, I'm
you
saying that
presumably, I don't think
you
you know
wouldn't have by your
anything.
nature, as a human being, your nature, you would have
Can I
you would
can
have
I ask
known
can I ask a quick question?
yeah.
Okay, you said Satan hates us.
Oh yeah.
What I find difficult is that Satan comes up with all the cool things. Satan comes up with all the different kinds of sex, which are pleasure
Because he
to
doesn't want
to everyone alive. Well, hold on.
because he doesn't
Satan's
want
come.
you to get to
Hold
rest in
on,
paradise.
Daniel, hold on, hold on. So Satan lets me enjoy all of that,
Yes,
all of
Brian.
my life, all of my life. But when I die, I get punished by God.
No, you don't get punished by him.
Where if there's anything in it for Satan, what's in it for Satan?
God doesn't
Because
punish you.
the one,
You just get destroyed.
but the
Which
God,
is
God will, according to the
you either
Bible,
exist
God
with
will,
God or you exist in
according,
chaos.
Daniel,
Yeah.
according to the Bible, God will put me in hell, not Satan.
No, God won't even have nothing to do with hell. God will destroy you. The only people who go into hell are the fallen
Actually,
angels. The Nephilim won't even end up in hell.
having the
They're
torture of
stuck
people.
here.
And Jesus is always in hell to look at how the people are being tortured. Haven't you looked at that first?
Yeah, but that's wrong. There's not. You're not. He went
Also,
down into hell.
the Bible is
No,
wrong.
you're
Wait a
getting it
minute. Wait a
wrong.
minute.
No, the
Hold
Bible ain't wrong.
hold on.
No,
This
the
is in
Bible ain't wrong. You're mistranslating. You're getting the translations mixed up. Hell, there was more than
the
one version
Bible.
of hell.
Daniel,
The lake
the
of
Bible.
fire, where you would go for all eternity and be separate.
Daniel.
Yeah.
The Bible explicitly tells us that Jesus enjoys, together with the angels, goes to hell and enjoys seeing those people being tortured.
No, it never
That's
says that anywhere.
explicitly. Yes, it
No, it
does.
doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Show me the Bible.
Okay,
Give me the
let
verse.
me. Yeah, okay. I'll have a look.
You ain't gonna find it. But here's the thing I'm gonna tell you. Here's the thing that's better. When they say
actually, Daniel, actually, I am going to find it.
Okay.
And it is. Wait a minute, Daniel, shut up, or I'm going to mute you.
I'm not talking.
This is the
last time. This is the last time I'm going to warn you because this is getting annoying.
Peter, that was not him. That was me.
Okay.
That was
Revelation 14:10. Go look it up.
Look it up right now.
They will be tormented in the presence of the angels and the Lamb. The Lamb is Jesus. Go look it up.
Well, I know what it says. It's not that doesn't say he's going to enjoy it. Revelations 14:10.
Yes.
And I'm going to show you. I'm going to get the exact.
Do you know how we know that he will enjoy it?
Hold on. They too will drink the wine. Okay, let's go back to 9. Because it's not talking about everybody. 14:10, 14.
It does not have to be talking about everybody.
It's not. It's talking about the fallen angels. The only ones that are going to ever suffer torment, eternal torment, as human beings, will be destroyed. And that's because you have the Spirit of God in you. The Spirit of God will be taken away, and the rest of you will be destroyed.
Well, according to those verses, according to that passage, reading from the context, it is not only fallen angels, but it is also those humans who have taken the mark of the beast.
Yes, those two. You're right. And those. Yes. But as for anybody who's a fallen away Christian or an atheist, or unless you get the mark of the beast, if you get the mark of the beast, you're going to know that you're partaking in a supernatural event. You're going to know, even as an atheist, you're going to know what you're doing is wrong.
Okay, it's not right for him to do that. Like, until
it's not right. He's just not. Why not? You don't want to be without. You want to be without God. That's the only other option you have. There is no other place.
The only reason that is the only other option there is because that is the only option that this horrible being has given. You don't go to.
Why would he create something if you don't like God? You don't want nothing to do with God. What was he got to create you another place you can exist? Why?
Why not?
I mean, if you don't want to be with God, destruction is perfect for you. If you don't like the gift that God has given you of life.
Okay, dude, I have a husband, and just because I don't want to be with you doesn't mean I want to come and kill you and torture you. There are other options.
No, there is no other option because there's only chaos in their life. There's only chaos in life. God didn't create a semi-chaos.
Listen to what I just said. I said, I have a husband. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be with you, Daniel. Not anything against you. It's just I have this person that I want to be with, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to be with you. That does not mean that the only other option is chaos, death, torture, and torment. There are other options. You can have a life elsewhere in Oregon or in Pennsylvania or in Transylvania or somewhere. You do not, I don't have to create a place of eternal torture just because I don't want to be with you or you don't want to be with me because, just because. Those are not the only other options. And if I was to make it so that was the only other option, I am a fucking psychopath.
Exactly. But here's the thing. If you're talking about reality,
that is reality. I am not torturing you because of not being my husband.
Daniel, did you just say exactly?
Yes, what I'm saying is this. No, look, when you're creator...
Hold on. I was asking you a specific question. Did you say exactly yes or no?
Exactly for what? I was going into... it was a preamble to what I was going to say.
She said if I was going to...
I did listen to what you said. You said...
Daniel, stop talking, and then you can get the question and you can get an answer.
Go ahead.
He made a comment. She said, if I did that, I would be, and I'll use her words, a fucking psychopath. and you said exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Correct?
But you're talking about two different.
Do you know what that means if you say exactly?
I'm saying exactly on our terms, human terms. Yes, if she didn't want to be with me, and I insisted that.
Do you know what it entails if you say exactly?
I'm saying
it's a yes or no question. It's a yes or
we are
no.
not God.
Daniel,
we are not God. Yes, I know what I'm saying.
Yes. So God is a fucking psychopath.
No, God's the one who created you, created your whole existence. God is God. God is just is the opposite of chaos.
Mm-hmm.
He's order.
He seems like the founder of it.
He's
not the founder of
chaos.
Daniel,
Daniel, can we put this to bed? Can we put this myth to bed right now? Who created
the
hell?
Nephilim put lizards to bed.
Yeah, who created hell?
Hell was created as a prison.
Who created hell?
God. But not for you.
Great.
Unless you know what I mean.
Daniel, is hell the place of chaos and torture and fire?
It's a place it's a lake of fire. It's probably the sun. Because that's the only place where you got plasma rain, so you probably got a lake of fire. No, you will not end up in the lake of fire. You will not end up in hell. Unless you choose to do that, and you will choose. You will know what you're doing.
Keep going. I'm not going to interrupt.
You can't be tricked into getting this. If your mother got you, your mother couldn't get you the mark of the beast. You have to know exactly what you're doing.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. That he is the maker of. If let's just say that what you're saying that I believe. What you saying? There I go again. Let's just say I believe that what you're saying is accurate about this horrible creature you're talking about. Let's just say that it's instead a schoolyard bully giving you the choice to hand over your lunch money or have your face smashed in the pavement. It's your choice. And he's perfectly perfect in doing so. It's your choice. You will know if you're making that choice to give him your lunch money or to get your face smashed in the pavement. If you get your face smashed in the pavement, that's your choice. You chose it. But that's not
a choice. That isn't a choice. Because if you say,
I don't want to. I mean, he's giving you the ultimatum. It is an ultimatum.
Okay, so if I don't want to give him my money, the only other option I have is to let him smash me in the face?
Yep.
Yes.
Well, I'm not going to take that option by nature. I'm going to try to beat his ass. If it came down to it, to be honest with you, that's not even a choice to me because I know I'm not going to give him my money. I don't want to fight him, but I will if I have to. So there's no choice.
Daniel, let me ask you a different question because you said it's a choice. Mm-hmm. Then it's quite easy. Peter, right here, right now, are making the choice. I am not going to hell. So now I'm not going to hell. What's God going to do? Because now I made my choice.
I'm not going to hell. I'm not going to be destroyed, and I'm not going to worship him.
You won't go to hell. If somebody comes up and says, "Hey, you get this mark of this beast," who cares what's going to happen? God ain't powerful enough to just whatever he tells you.
Let's say, Daniel. Sure. Let's say I make two choices. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take the mark of the beast, and I choose not to go to hell. What's going to happen?
In hell. Then you've chosen hell.
No, I told you just now. I'm going to make two choices.
But you lied in
first. Daniel, shut up. Daniel, shut up. You lied. You just lied to us because you said it's a choice. If it is a choice, then it is a choice, and then God can do diddly squat. Squat to get me to hell.
Okay, look at this.
Choice. If it is my choice, Daniel, then it is my choice.
Okay, I that's like saying I did not choose to rob a bank.
No, but you chose to rob a bank.
But
Okay,
see,
well, I don't know.
what you can't do, see, what you're saying is that
Here's the
I
thing is,
choose
no,
to rob a
you
bank,
have
and
a
I
choice.
choose.
No, wait. If I say I did not choose to rob a bank, but I go and rob a bank, am I telling you the truth that I chose not to rob a bank?
No, you're
Syrian?
you're an idiot because that's
Lied to
not
me.
possible.
That's what you did.
Because that's
If
not
you say,
possible. Daniel, then you are
Mhm.
an idiot because that's not possible. If
no,
you choose not to rob a bank, there's nothing in the world that can make you rob a bank.
okay, here's what you're
Not a
failing
single
to
thing, not a
accept.
single, not a
Okay,
single
here's
thing.
what you're failing to realize, though, and this is a fact it's written in the Bible. You will know when you're getting the mark of the beast. You're gonna know that you're
You're
choosing to get
deflating.
that mark of the beast.
You're already deflecting from the
So
question.
even if
So
you
now,
say I don't choose hell, you're gonna tell God that. But
so now I'm curious because you did rob a bank and you did go to jail for it. So you did your time. So we don't have to judge you again for robbing a bank. Let's make
no,
that clear up front.
all right.
But tell me, who carried you to the bank?
I carried myself.
Oh, so you made a
I'm not
choice.
saying I didn't
Wait a
choose.
minute.
I'm just
Hold
saying
on. Hold on. Hold on. I'm trying to get to the point here.
Okay.
So you made a choice to go to the bank. Did you have a weapon?
Yep.
Okay. Did you choose to bring the weapon?
Yeah.
Did you choose to take the weapon out in the bank?
Yeah.
Did you choose to
Kind
point
of,
it at
kind of,
people?
kind of, kind of superficially
Hold
though. I
on.
didn't just pull it out.
Just answer
In
the question.
Mexico. Yeah.
Did you choose to point the gun at people?
Yeah, but that was one time and it wasn't in America.
Did you choose to ask them for money?
Sort of, yeah.
So you chose to rob a bank.
Yeah. Oh, I know
Yeah.
I did. No doubt. I'm just telling you,
Okay.
I was
I'm just
demonstrating a
I'm just
lie.
establishing I'm just establishing the fact that
I
if you
was
choose
demonstrating that if you
let
say
me
I'm
let
not,
me tell let me tell me let me tell you a terrific story. There's a
Mhm.
guy in Holland who has a YouTube channel. The guy's called Peter. And he actually chose never to rob a bank. Currently, he's close to being 56 years old, and he hasn't robbed a single bank in his life. Do you think he was just lucky, or do you think there's any possibility that someone could have dragged him to a bank, put a gun in his hand, uh, pull his hand
that's
up
actually
so the
happened
gun
in
was pointing
America.
at people and would kick him in the nuts so long that he would ask for money and force him to rob a bank? Do you think that happens?
That actually has happened in America.
That has happened in America?
I believe it or not, with a bomb collar.
It was a Stockholm syndrome thing.
Stockholm syndrome.
I have heard, and I have not seen it confirmed or denied elsewhere. So take this with a huge grain of salt, everybody. You
Okay,
might
well,
need to
I don't
look it
know the
up later.
whole story either. I just
But
remember it.
there is an account that I have heard regarding a girl who was trapped and abused, and because of the Stockholm syndrome that developed, those people then were able to make her go out and do something horrible.
Okay,
Yes, it was
this was a man. This was a man. It wasn't her. It was a man, and they put a collar around his and blew him up. That happened in
okay. So he didn't make a choice, right?
no, he I don't think he did. He sat down and tried
No,
to do what he was supposed
I
to get
still
it
want to talk
off.
about lizard sex.
he
Oh,
tried to survive.
oh,
Yes. What what
okay.
what
Uh,
it looks to me, Daniel, that you know nothing about the origin of dinosaurs because every time we get to a different topic that has absolutely nothing to do with
well,
dinosaurs. So
I don't agree with your version.
let me ask you a specific question, a
Yeah.
completely specific question.
Okay.
Um, T-Rexes existed, right? Tyrannosaurus
Yeah.
Rex.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me where they originated, which angel was responsible, where the act is documented, so I can go back and find it and
Well,
see how a T-Rex and what's more important, what was the reptile that the angel was having sex with?
well,
How
now
he get?
that's
I
the
want to
thing
know how he got
is
a hard on for a lizard. That's what I want to know.
well, it could have been, who knows? It could have been genetically manufactured through a bird. It could have been because they say that they're finding connections to the birds and the dinosaurs.
Yes, that's what they say. That's what they say, and it's
Yeah,
not only what they say. It's not only what they say. It's completely what
there's
we call in
absolutely
technical
no
terms. What we
connection,
call
just
in
that
technical,
genetic
Daniel.
piece.
That's what we call in technical terms bullshit. Because there were no chickens when there were dinosaurs.
Well, exactly. I'm not going into science. What I'm saying is when they
I
came
know you're
down,
not going into science
here's the
because
thing.
you haven't
There
said a
was
scientific.
no,
You
there
haven't said a
has been,
science, Daniel. You haven't said a scientific thing since we came on
well, there has been
tonight.
no historical science of dinosaurs until recent times. Now, that doesn't mean planets completely out of
I
our
don't
solar
care.
system. We
I
have
don't care.
historical science.
Let's pretend we know
The ocean,
nothing
we
about
have
that.
historical
Daniel,
science.
Daniel, Daniel, for the sake
Yeah.
of argument, let's pretend we know nothing about dinosaurs. Everyone is stupid. No one has Google. No one has access to the
Well,
internet.
that's not a
So we
fact
know
now. We've got
nothing.
a whole
We know
story of it.
nothing. Daniel, we know nothing about dinosaurs. We're going back. What would it be? 3,000 years, 4,000 years, maybe. No,
Okay.
it would be a little bit more because the flood was supposedly 4,300 years ago. So maybe let's go back. Let's go back 5,000 years. Maybe that's where the dinosaurs originated.
Yeah.
So where can I find a document?
Well, it could have
On
been.
on
It could have
where,
been earlier
Daniel, can
too.
I ask my question first before you
Go ahead.
answer something that I never asked?
All right, go ahead.
That'll help. That'll help the conversation if you actually let people ask you a question and then answer the question that you're asked.
Okay.
Because if you're going to give answers to questions that we don't ask, we don't have a conversation.
All right.
We just have a simple rambling on that gets us nowhere. So what I want to know is, you did the research. I want to know what reptile was used as a means to get us a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
We don't know.
So
That wasn't for us to know. That was a science that was beyond our
we're not talking about
purpose.
science. We're talking about the Bible and the Book of Enoch. And you
Yeah.
studied all of this.
I can imagine now. I would say if I had to decide now from what I know about genetics,
But you don't get to decide. That's the fun part.
well, I would
Because
choose
because
a
you were you
lizard.
were you I'm going to channel Ken Ham here. Were you
I
there?
would choose an
Were you
iguana
there,
and an ostrich.
Daniel? Were you there
No,
when it
but
happened?
iguana and an ostrich would make a
So
great
you don't get to
like
choose.
kind of a mini
So you don't.
Tyrannosaurus
So
Rex.
you do- so you don't get to choose. You don't get to choose an animal because you like it, or you don't get to choose an animal because you think it may look like it. What I want to know is, you studied this.
Yeah.
So what I want to know is, what did the study reveal to you?
Well,
Can you name?
God
Can
hasn't.
you name, Daniel? Can you name just one single lizard that was at the base of a specific dinosaur? I don't care which lizard, and I don't care which dinosaur originated from it. You pick one that you actually researched, that you actually know of. This lizard had sex with the angels, and that gave us that dinosaur. What does the Book
Well,
of
that
Enoch
I
say?
don't know. God hasn't bequeathed me with that blessing to know
Okay,
that.
Then do me another
However,
favor.
I've got a great
Then do me,
imagination.
Daniel, then do me another favor. Where in the book of Enoch is a dinosaur mentioned?
Well, it's not mentioned specifically dinosaur, no. It's mentioned animals, and I'll find the verse. I've got it on my notes. Hold on. I got to find it. Hold on. All right, go into...
I thought you had all of this ready. I mean,
I
you
did.
picked the topic.
Well, it's because
I thought you
thought it was on my
would
notes.
know this.
It's in it.
Are you still?
Shit. She didn't know what mom called. Yeah, here it is.
Well, what I'm also curious about is how come that you're the only one who knows this?
Huh?
People have studied the Bible for thousands of years, and
No, it's because they don't read the Book of the Giants. They don't read the Enoch or.
do you think no one has read that?
Nephilim created the dinosaurs.
Do you really think? Do you really think that you're the only one who's ever looked at this?
No, there's a lot of people that agree with the same thing. I'm not alone in that belief.
Can we talk about people who are a little bit above the standard YouTube commenter? I mean, you're talking about
but I'm not talking about the
posters.
standard. I don't get on the YouTube content.
I'm not speaking. I'm not limiting. I know I'm not limiting myself to just strictly YouTube. I'm using YouTube as an example. I'm talking about layman people who have no education in genetics. Because I would assume that because you have talked to us about your experience with digging up dinosaur bones, and I assume you want us to realize that you have some extra knowledge in this field because of your experience, your expertise, so to speak. Let's get some people with some expertise, not just commenters, not just people who say.
That's fair. That's fair. But see, the expertise, again, if they can explain it, this is the one thing about the truth, and the Bible's perfect. It's very plainly spoken. When you listen to a scientist, they instantly go into Latin. You don't need to go into Latin. Just tell us just give us the science, give us a quick summary of what the description is without going into all these $10 words.
Dude,
because that's how a lie is progressed. It's
Daniel,
you use all these big numbers and this and that to explain gravity, to explain dinosaurs too. Yeah.
Daniel, were you like this with your wife? Could she even get a word in edgewise? Okay, so I was a scientist in the Navy, in the nuclear field. Yeah. What we were doing with those, I'll just say with the formulae, it was accurate. It was true. When something is a fact, it is true. It can also be very, very complicated. Not everything is just very simple. Even some cooking recipes are very complicated. Not everything can be condensed into a 140, 200 and something character tweet. I mean, truth is not something that can just be sometimes packaged into a little box in bite-sized nuggets. That is simply not how.
The reason why a theory is so long is because you have to explain why it's true.
No, the
Truth
reason why
doesn't need explanation.
Yes, it does. So I was working with nuclear power plants, right?
Okay.
Those need explanation. Do they not?
Well, okay. Now, to explain how nuclear power works, it doesn't need now, if you want to say cold fusion exists, now you're going to have to go into more and explain.
No. You do need to explain how nuclear power works.
I don't think you would need to explain a whole lot to me.
Yes, yes. If you want
It would
the
take
actual
less than 3 minutes
no, it wouldn't. Or else
to
I would
explain
not
how
have,
nuclear.
yeah.
I think I
Why?
can explain it to myself in 3 minutes. Explain it to you in 3 minutes.
No, you couldn't. Why do
I'm
you
not
think
saying we have to go into all the science. What I'm saying is I can tell you this is how nuclear fusion works. So this is
fission?
obviously I can't now,
Fission.
but
Fission.
I'm sure I could. The next time we talk, I would have less than 3 minutes. I would have a
No,
minute.
listen. That's not what I'm saying. You said if it's true, correct me if I'm wrong, the truth, if it's true, it does not need explaining in long explanations.
It doesn't.
I am saying I am giving you one example of many. The example that I am giving is just one of many. But this particular example is a nuclear power plant. All of the theories, all of the formulae, all of the chemicals, zinc anodes, all the different things that go into it, all just everything, thermodynamics, all of that. This all needs more than a tiny soundbite size explanation, and it's true. And yet you need more than just a little teeny package to explain it. That's why we spend years in training, months locked up in buildings where you have to have the windows covered because it's confidential. We don't spend all that time learning about truth in this field because there's just so little to learn. There is massive amounts of information, and it's true, and it's complicated.
Okay, then let me ask you this then, because this will be in the same description. Because what did you find truthful about Christianity? Because if you spoke it to other people, you found something that was truthful, that was legitimate. What was that?
That's completely irrelevant, and I'm not answering that.
No, it's not irrelevant. It's the truth. You found something truthful in that. If you found something truthful in your description of nuclear rate of how a nuclear power plant works, you should have found something. You should be able to identify what's truthful in the Christian.
Daniel, you're going off on a tangent again. I'm going to cut this. I'm going to cut this short. You know what she found? You know what she found truthful in Christianity? Nothing, because she's an atheist now.
So then if you weren't being truthful when you were speaking to when you were preaching to the other people, how can we say you're being truthful with what you know now about the existence of God?
You can be wrong, can't you?
Peter, let me answer this.
Have you ever been wrong in your life about something?
Yeah. Let me answer this, because I understand what he's saying.
Okay, go ahead.
And where he's coming from. And I think his question his question's legit. It will take some explanation, but if
I appreciate that.
Okay. So let's just say an untruth. Something that is not true, not factual, not accurate. Just anything. Let's say, okay, my table is square. You'll just have to take my word for it. But let's just say I was under the impression that my table is round. So when I'm describing my table to people, I say it's round. I'm not lying to them. Mm-hmm. I'm wrong. What Peter said, I am wrong. And I could probably use a trip to a therapist. But I am simply wrong. It's not that you can't trust me with my intentions. You can doubt whether or not I am correct.
But see, here's the thing, though, is you refuse to answer what you found truthful, because that is an intimate question that I asked you. That shows that you had an intimacy with God that you're not willing to
you need
disclose,
to let
or
me
even
tell you what it shows. You do not.
Well, that's what it shows to me. If you're willing to withhold that,
just a minute.
Okay.
I can have any reaction. I can sit here silently and not answer a damn question you tell me. And you can tell me all day what that means to you, but that says nothing about what it means.
Okay, well then correct me.
Will you take correction from a woman?
Of course I will. I've got a
I-
daughter. She's 5 years old, and she's corrected me.
Well, you know, whether or not we have a child of the
She
opposite
don't
gender.
never win because I'm bigger than her, but still.
Oh God, that is the most
I'm
horrible thing I've
joking.
ever heard. Okay. Now, did I find anything truthful in Christianity? Yes.
And what was that? Love, devotion, faith.
They
I
were.
mean,
Hey, let me listen. If you ask me a question and you want an answer, you will let me finish.
okay.
Again, you are putting words into my mind and it is not appreciated. Love, devotion. Yes, I did find those. They are not exclusive to Christianity. I find them elsewhere. They are not specifically Christian qualities.
Okay. What is devotion? How does that refer to? As a
Look it
Christian,
up.
did you believe it? Did you believe in abortion?
What do you mean by believe in? Because I believe
Did you
in,
believe that abortion was is a right, not not a horrible choice that you make to destroy your own flesh and blood? But I
what
mean, did
does
you
this
believe that,
pertain to?
did you acknowledge that that was a harmful thing to do?
First of all, you just twisted the question, because when you say, do you acknowledge that it was harmful, you are saying, do you acknowledge that my opinion is right, or are you stupid? Not in those words, but instead of saying, do you believe it is right or do you believe it is wrong, you are saying, do you acknowledge that it is right, or are you now going your own way? That is
Okay.
completely twisting the question.
Well, but see, as a Christian, you would have had to believe only one way.
No, you
And,
wouldn't,
I mean,
because look,
there's no way you
look, dude, no, you don't get to speak for all Christians. My husband is a Christian and he is okay with pro-choice.
Well,
Atheists,
that's unfortunate.
atheists are, that is one opinion. Atheists are only among the people who are pro-choice.
No, there's a lot of Nazis too.
Nazis
Or
can be religious
KKK.
or non. Nazis can be religious or non, but they're only among.
Yeah.
Atheists are only found among humanists.
Racists love abortion.
You don't get to speak for all
founder of
racists,
abortion.
because my
The
atheist,
founder of abortion
look,
wanted to destroy the black.
My racist
the-
stepdad is against abortion.
No, I'm saying. Well, I know,
Can
but
I
then
can I
obviously
can I get a
racists love abortion.
can I get a
Excuse you, Daniel.
cut this short, because it's still our show, and I think we need to get back to the topic. If
Which
you
is
want
lizard
to do
sex.
yeah, if you want to do a show about abortion, that is fine with me.
Oh, that would be a wild one, though.
Yeah, because God is
I'm wearing my
actually
wrestling uniform for
God
that
is
one.
actually fine with abortion if you believe the Bible.
No, he's not.
correctly.
No, he's
No,
not.
he
That was
commands
a
it.
different.
He commands it.
Daniel, he is, and I can show you chapter and verse where abortion is in the Bible, and abortion is actually performed by Yahweh. And you never read the Bible? I'm astonished.
Yeah,
that
I've
a couple
seen
of
that. I've
atheists.
seen the description.
I'm
That's not the
astonished.
same thing.
I'm astonished that you haven't read the Bible, because
I have read the Bible book cover to cover, probably more times than you
the
have.
words are actually in there. It is
I'm
abortion.
familiar with it, and it's not the same thing. It's not. It's not the.
What are you for? What are you?
It's a very. You guys use a lot of character,
Daniel,
a lot of color in that.
Daniel,
Lizard
what are you
sex.
familiar with that is in the Bible?
Lizard sex.
Yeah, there we go. That's what we know. That's in the Bible.
Lizard sex.
Lizard sex is in the Bible.
No, but we're
Well,
supposed to be talking about lizard
it's in the
sex.
Book of Giants and the Book of Enoch. I can't think exactly where it's at though.
The Book of Giants.
Because I don't really quote from the.
Hold on. The Book of where can I find the Book of Giants in the Bible? Because I've all the Bible.
It's called something
Bible
else.
versions
Hold on.
at my hand.
Let me find it. All right, go on to All right, hold on. I'll get the verses now.
If this isn't lizard sex, I'm not interested.
It is. This is the one on the Nephilim. All right,
Give me lizard sex, Daniel. I want lizard
Yeah, that's
sex.
what it is, because it's going to
God.
talk about it. It's going
God.
to dinosaurs
Give
and
me them
Enoch.
lizards. Do they have tentacles?
I really want
Spaghetti
to read out.
monster.
I really
Dinosaurs
want
and
you to
Enoch.
read-
Damn it!
really
I
want you
want
to read
lizard
that up.
hentai. Give me that Nephilim hentai.
Where did dinosaurs get? Oh, there we go. Is this?
Someone said Jack and the Beanstalk. Oh, give me those lizard beanstalks, baby. Lizard hentai, let's go.
All right.
Those Nephilim get on fetlife.com and look up lizards.
Okay, you gotta have to. Oh, I got this phone and it's.
Quick shout out to fetlife.com.
Who is it?
Oh, I'm talking about fetlife.com.
All right, go on the Book of Jasher, chapter 4.
I can't go to the Book of Jasher.
Just read it for us.
Okay.
Jasher or Joshua?
In all the days that Enoch lived upon the earth, 300, when Enoch was ascended to heaven, all the kings of horror.
Just a quick question. What Bible version are you using now?
It's the Book of Jasher. It's the.
Wait a minute. So you just said to us it's in the Bible. Then you went and looked it up, and you're going to anything
the Book of
else.
Jasher. But
Yeah,
the Bible.
you're not going to the Bible. So you lied to us that it's.
What is the Bible? Well, it's biblical. It's biblical reference.
Not biblical, because if it's biblical, it's in the Bible. That's what biblical means.
Well, this is mentioned in the Bible.
Oh, it's
No, it's
biblically
not.
referenced. We'll take.
Yes,
I don't
it's
think
biblically
the Book of
referenced.
Jasher is. Enoch is. Jasher isn't, is it?
I think Jasher is in the Bible, in the Catholic Bible.
What's
Maybe
the
not.
reference in the? What's the reference in the Bible? What does it refer to?
Hold on, it says, and the Lord provoked the Lord, and God saw the whole earth, and it was corrupt, and for all flesh had corrupted its ways upon the earth.
So
all
far,
men and
Daniel,
all animals.
Daniel,
The book. I'm going to give it to you right now. You ready for it?
Daniel.
Yeah.
Daniel, I asked you a
Yeah.
question and you didn't answer it because you didn't even listen to the question. Is that correct?
Go ahead. Huh?
Do you know what question I asked?
Yeah. Where do I find it in the scriptures?
No, I didn't ask you where you can find it in the scripture. I asked you in the Bible. You say there's a reference to the book that you're reading from right now. What my question is what was the Bible referring to? Because it's usually referring to something specific in a different book. It's not.
Well, let me see.
If I tell you that I read something in Harry Potter, the Philosopher's Stone, on page 265.
Great. Now you're
That doesn't mean that you then go to Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, page 1, and look it up there. Because that's going to get you nowhere. What I'm asking is, where in the Bible is a reference that takes us to a specific passage that deals with lizard sex, dinosaur sex?
Well, Jasher, which talks about lizards.
No, Jasher isn't the Bible.
Joshua.
Wait a minute. Jasher
Samuel and Timothy.
What does it say in Samuel and Timothy?
You got Joshua 10:13, 2 Samuel 1:18, and 2 Timothy 3:8. And I'm going to go on it.
Is it that difficult? Is it that difficult? The first verse that you mentioned, what does that verse say? What is it referring to?
I'm going to look at it right now.
Just so you know, the area you've mentioned of the Sorcerer's Stone is talking about the Forbidden Forest when Filch makes them go in there for a punishment.
Oh, the Joshua?
Well,
like I said, we don't know. I mean, that's It's all fact. I don't know it like that because we kind of
It's
okay.
it's all fact. It's all fact. I'm asking you for a specific reference, and all you can come up with, all we know is all fact. Well, we know
No,
for a fact. We know for a fact. We know for a fact, Daniel, that most in the Bible is not a fact.
Oh yes, actually,
That we know.
everything in
That
the
we
Bible,
know.
from the
We know.
very
That we
first
know.
verses
That
are
we know.
factual.
That
Let's
we
not
know for a
forget,
fact.
sonoluminescence is a fact. We now
Let's
know
not
that in
forget.
2010.
Let's not forget that
We've known that for 8 years
maybe
now.
Daniel, let's not forget that maybe up to 80% in the Bible is bullshit.
No,
Because
that's not true. It starts out from 100% fact.
No, it
Again,
doesn't.
we only found out sonoluminescence was possible in
Daniel,
2010.
Daniel, we already know that the creation
God
story
was
is wrong
2,000 or
because
6,000 years ahead of us on that.
got the sequence completely wrong.
Lizard sex.
Hold on.
But we're still waiting for the reference in the Bible.
You guys are
And
making
what it
my
actually and what the reference actually says.
Okay, I'll have to go into it because I'm outside right now. I got to walk to the.
You guys are making my unicorn horn soft.
Okay, exact reference. There are references in the Bible to the Nephilim.
I don't care that there are references in the Bible. I know there's also abortion in the Bible. Numbers 5:16 to 22. It tells you exactly. It tells you exactly how God performs abortions.
How he has the priest do it, actually.
Yeah. No. He has the priest have her something to drink.
Oh yeah, and then God performs it. If
I have it in front of me. The priest shall bring and have her stand before the Lord. Then he shall take some holy water in a clay jar and put some dust from the tabernacle floor into the water. After the priest has had the woman before the Lord, he shall loosen her hair and place in her hands the reminder offering, the grain offering for jealousy, while himself holds the bitter water that brings a curse. The priest shall put the woman under oath and say to her, if no other man has had sexual relationships with you, and you have not gone astray and become impure while married to your husband, may this bitter water that brings a curse not harm you. But if you have gone astray while married to your husband, and you have made yourself impure by having sexual relations with a man other than your husband, there the priest is to put the woman under this curse. And then comes the important part. May the Lord cause you to become a curse among your people. When he makes your womb miscarry, I'll repeat it again. When he makes your womb miscarry and your abdomen swell, may this water that brings a curse to you enter your body so that your abdomen swells and your womb miscarries. The crucial part here is
again that's God making
the crucial part is may the Lord cause you to become a curse among people when the Lord makes your womb miscarry. That is God performing an abortion.
Okay.
So don't tell me that God. Don't tell me that abortion is not in the Bible. I'm reading this from I think it was the NIV.
Okay, but see, that's God.
That's God. Yeah.
Now, what abortion is?
God can perform abortion.
Humankind making herself become cursed, cursing herself.
Listen, buddy, your God has no say in my life, and if it's okay for your God to perform abortions, then it's okay for me to perform abortions.
No, it isn't. God created you.
And you want to know why? Because according to I was created in the image of your God. So what I have to do, according to the Bible, is I need to be God as God-like as I can be. Well, if I have to be as godlike as I can be, then I'll have to perform abortions, right?
Careful with that one, Peter. That is a slippery slope because
Yeah,
God does
it
all
is.
sorts of
Yes, it
immoral
is.
crap.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, God is one of the
Here's
most
the thing,
immoral things, and if you
I
do
don't
one,
know
that's
what God was talking in context to that because I don't really. I don't know the Bible that. I'm not.
I read you the entire context, so don't wiggle out on
No,
me.
well, I will. I will definitely study that. But here's the thing: is again, we don't know what context that was. We don't know what was in the
I
wombs
read
of
you
those
the
women.
context. I
Hold
read
on,
you
I
the
can't.
context. And you want to know if the woman was okay with this abortion? I forgot one sentence. Then the woman is to say, Amen, so be it.
Hey,
So
I'm losing.
she's
I'm going to
happy.
lose you guys. My power's running out.
Okay, so we don't get to know about
I want to
lizard
know
sex.
about lizard sex.
Yeah.
Why were these
Hold
angel
on, we're
beings?
going to have to continue it.
Okay, why were the
I like
Nephilim
having
turned
this
on?
conversation, though, and I will come a little more prepared next time. But I'm running
Next
out of
time,
power.
Daniel, you had over 2 months, I think, to prepare. Do you think that there's anything more you can prepare than come to this completely unprepared? I mean, do you really have anything that actually deals with the act of how it happened? I mean, all you have
Of how?
all you have come up so far is some story that is not referenced in the Bible because another story is referenced in the Bible, and you just took the whole book and thought that now this book is completely valid. Well,
Well, I believe the book is valid.
the Bible references one specific point in that book as being valid. That doesn't mean the entire book is valid.
Yeah, but see, you got to go on what the Holy Spirit inside you also acknowledges is valid.
If I
And I
give
mean, you
you,
can
if
tell.
I
It's just
give
like
you,
when somebody lies to you. Yeah.
If I give you a magazine that is completely bullshit, cover to cover, but there is one advert in that magazine that actually is an advertisement for something that is really, really good, and I go and tell you, Daniel, if you have that magazine, go to that specific page. There's an ad in there, maybe for some medicine. Let's take medicine. If you buy that, you're going to be cured from the illness that you currently have. That doesn't mean that the entire magazine full of bullshit now becomes valid because there's an ad in there that's actually
you're right.
accurate. The same thing is with the book of Jasher.
Dude, I want lizard sex.
Yeah, if there's a reference in the Bible that specifically leads to something. I'm getting very confused with the live chat now. If there's a specific reference in there that talks about angels having sex with reptiles or lizards or whatever, I want to know the verse in the Bible.
Okay, I will.
And then I want to know what the reference says. And I want you to, if you come back, and if we decide to do another couple of hours on a topic that never gets discussed, I want all these references up front, because next time I'm going to make it so that while we're having these talks, I will put up every single thing you found on the screen. So if you're telling me that there's something in Deuteronomy 6, and that's referencing to lizard sex, I'm going to have Deuteronomy 6 on the screen, and then we're going to go to the book of Jasher or the book of Enosh or the book of Harry Potter. I don't care where we're going. Whatever the Bible tells us to go,
reality.
and we'll read the actual text in that specific book. And I'm going to put that up on the screen. And so we're going to make a list.
Okay,
but we'll also
sounds
need
good.
another
And
element to it, and that is an element that you will both appreciate and not. And that is speculation about the fetishes of these Nephilim for reptilians specifically. Instead of mammals or birds, they specifically picked reptiles. So we could get into
and
that.
if you and here's another one for you guys, because you guys are both evolutionists, right?
Can I just throw in that for the people in the chat that missed my tweet, I can now save the live chat and can make it available for the people who are watching back the video.
Hey, I want a copy of that
after
too.
it has aired live. So the live chat will no longer disappear at the end of the video.
Hey,
I'm saving it.
I'm deleting my comment right
Maybe
now.
I should have told
deleting my comment
before, because now I'm scaring a couple of people. Yeah, Beach Price. Just saying.
Okay, look at this. Here's the question I would like for you to. No, I'm not. Never mind. That won't come out right.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. It can't get any
well, I was
worse
going to
than
say,
it is already.
As an evolutionist, what purpose does because you're an evolutionist right now? I wonder what purpose and I can see how you would discount the explanation of the angels, fallen angels, choosing human women to breed with.
Actually,
because
I would
as
say
an evolutionist, that would be the
likely.
worst thing you could choose. No, that'd be the worst thing you could choose.
Well, you should
At least a
probably
lion can hunt. At least a lioness can hunt. You guys can't hunt.
You really don't know how this works,
So, I mean,
do you?
Well,
are
I mean,
you asking the question to be answered, or
I'm
are
talking
you
about
asking the question?
Daniel,
that's what I said when
Daniel,
it came out right. I should have asked that sooner.
Daniel,
because I'm about right.
But
that's something to think about in the future.
No.
Yes, I do, and I believe she's valuable. As a Christian, I believe she's valuable. As a Christian, she's
Daniel, shut up. Daniel, I have a question. You have a daughter, right?
Yes.
Okay. Your daughter got conceived at some point, right?
Yes.
Did you do that with a bow and arrow, or with a handgun, or a shotgun, or a rifle?
Don't ask her. She might have. No, I did it with wit, eloquence.
Well, it has to do with hunting. So I'm just throwing out there. Maybe you use a cannon.
But I'm saying as a woman, as a female, as a woman, if she's from a natural standpoint.
Yes.
From a natural standpoint, a woman is about the worst female that you could creature that you could.
Most females aren't standing during conception. That's just
if a lion at least
kinky sort of human.
At least a lion, the woman goes out and hunts and brings back the food so I can defend her.
Peter.
Yes.
You don't know what I do again. Never mind.
Yes. Okay. I see. I made my point. See, I made my point. I live with two women, so maybe it's even worse in my house.
All the walls.
Yes.
All of them.
But and we have a lot of fun. But I never bring a bow and arrow or a gun to bed when never mind.
Try a blade.
I still don't get the hunting reference.
I don't understand where it came from. You brought in bows and arrows.
I don't know. I think I was trying to stretch out the. I was trying to get something else in.
That's what he said. I was trying to stretch it out. Now we're going to talk about Nephilim and lizards, and them stretching it out. So be ready next time, okay?
Okay, I will. And this time I'll have notes. I was kind of got.
This time you had 2 fucking months, buddy.
I know, but I just stopped. I just started regular work hours too. I was working 70 hours or 60 hours a week. All right, my phone's about to die. I've only got 4%. So
Okay.
give me,
So
just text me when it's. Go ahead.
A better thing is, if you have your research done, you know where to reach me on Twitter. Just shoot me a DM, because I'm going to make time for another show, because and I'm asking you, I want all the references up front.
Okay, I'm bringing it all this time.
At least a week before we do our talk, so I can make nice screens so people can actually read what is being referenced here. So
okay, can I add some pictures to it?
I googled this. I saw a lot of pictures we can use.
Great. I would love to see your search history, Peter.
It is, as it says in the title, NSFW. So
okay, I'm gonna send you as soon as I'm gonna start researching this week. I'll have 2 days off on Thursday and Friday, or no, Friday and Saturday. Man, I love those days off.
And Daniel,
yeah,
bring me that lizard sex.
I'm going to. I've got that. I'm gonna have that all listed, and he's gonna post it. No pictures though. No. Yeah, it might leave the pictures out of it now. Yeah, that might be scary. Okay, so then let's do that.
Yeah,
I wonder if I can plug this in. Okay, yeah, I'll call. Then we'll do that, and I'll send you a direct message because I'm about to lose you. I got 2 minutes or 2% now.
Okay.
All right.
First of all, let me thank the people in the chat, and a particular shout out to our moderators, Beach Price and Brian Stevens. Brian brought in a couple of links. I'll make sure to post those links that you brought up, Brian, in the description.
He also correctly noted that I know nothing about history.
I'll be decent. I won't put in the video that you sent me, because I don't think that's appropriate. That can be, it's mentioned in the live chat, but it's not something that I actually am going to link to. But thanks everyone for listening in. I love the chat. I love the chat at times, and I have to say, some of it wasn't safe for work, but it was fun, and a lot of people seem to agree that we had at least a lot of fun. So,
and you seem like a really nice guy, Daniel.
Thank you, and you do too. Not a guy, girl. Yeah.
Okay, so Daniel,
now I'm a Christian.
Daniel, thanks for coming. We're looking forward to the next talk. And we'll go into every single detail of lizard sex. And I can.
And you gonna send me?
I can barely say the words.
And send me a link to this discussion.
Sure, no problem.
All right. So I think it's been pretty decent. I could let my daughter listen to it.
What? Okay. I would not let my daughter.
Okay.
Man, maybe not.
Guys, let's do this when we get off air. I want to thank everyone that has listened, everyone that's going to listen. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so, and see you all maybe tomorrow. I still haven't heard from this guy back, because I'm still curious if hell expanding is causing climate change. According to Daniel, that's not possible because hell is the sun. According to this guy, hell is inside the earth and the earth is expanding or something.
Can you imagine
I don't know.
These two in the same show debating each other?
Yeah, that would be fun. But we're going to wrap this one up. Thanks everyone for coming. Please subscribe, follow us on Twitter, and see you all next time.
Okay, God bless y'all. Thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.